Yo guys, what is up? Plus here, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I have the story for you guys about the time that I bought weed. It was my first time ever buying weed. It's a pretty funny story, so I'll just hop right on into it. So for those of you that have seen my first time smoking weed story, you know that it happened in 6th grade. I was 11 years old, and the whole reason why I wanted to smoke weed in the first place was because my friend's older brother had this little makeshift pipe, and I don't know why, but I just became obsessed. Like, I really fucking wanted to smoke weed. But, anyways, I was probably like 2 or 3 days went by, and I was hanging out with my friends after school, and I just had this idea in my head, and I was like, dude, I can hit up my cousin. And at the time, I think I was 11, so my cousin was probably like 14. The oldest she could have been was 15. But I remember she was like the biggest pothead, and she was like your stereotypical just like hood rat pothead. Like, basically she was why parents didn't want their kids smoking weed, because she hung out with the most ghetto people. She went, like, there's two different malls in my town. One is really fucking ghetto and the other one is pretty nice, and she would always just choose to go to the ghetto ass mall. There's only like 4 stores in it that even are open. It's pretty ridiculous. But getting pretty off topic here. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is she was just like really a terrible person, and I hit her up and I was like, hey, I really want to try some weed. I was kind of expecting her to be like, fuck no, no. And her mom knew about it at the time, my aunt, and my aunt was like, well, or my cousin was like, oh, okay, well, let me call you back. So she hangs up, she calls me back, and she's like, my mom wants to talk to you. And I'm like, fuck no, I will not talk to your mom about weed. She would tell my mom. And she's like, no, she won't, just fucking talk to her, quit being a pussy. So I get on the phone with my aunt, and I'm like, hi. And it was probably the most awkward conversation I've ever had in my life. But my aunt's just like, you wanna buy some weed? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, who are you gonna smoke with? And I was like, my friends before school. Like, just telling her, like, everything that's gonna happen, and she's just like, oh, alright. So, what happened was, it was probably like 5 o'clock at night, and I, like, I sprint down the street to my friend's house. The older brother gives me 20 bucks, and I went to this park and waited on my cousin and my aunt to show up. And they took so long. I remember just sitting there like, what the fuck is taking them so long? So finally they show up, and I walk up to the car, and I'm just kind of like standing there expecting them to like get out and hand me the fucking weed. But what they actually did was, my aunt rolls down the window and she's all, get in the car, you look so shady. So I get in the car, and the whole time I'm in the car, they're just like, don't smoke a lot of this, it will get you really fucked up, especially if you're gonna be at school, da 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 da. And I was just like, okay. And then she handed me the little thing, the little bag that it was in, and we basically just circled around the block, and she dropped me back off at the park. And I remember sitting there for like 5 minutes just contemplating whether or not I should bring it home with me and risk getting caught, which I honestly have no fucking idea why I thought I would have gotten caught. I was 11, what the fuck. But anyways, I end up just taking this bag of weed and like throwing it under a tree. Yeah, so anyways, I wake up in the morning and I'm walking to my friend's house, and I grab this weed out from under this tree. Thank God nothing happened to it. But anyways, I get to his house and I'm like, dude, look, I got the weed. And it was a good day. But anyways, he loads up this bowl and I hit it, and I didn't really feel anything at first. And I didn't feel anything until like, because 30 minutes went by, and then I just felt like pretty high. Like, I don't know, I didn't feel really high because, like, I mean, at the time, I was pretty fucked up, but, like, now thinking back on it, I really didn't get that high, but, like, I thought I was very high because it was my first experience, and I just remember sitting on the bed and looking up at my friend and being like, I can't feel my legs, and that was a bullshit lie because I could feel my legs. I was just getting the tingly knees, and I thought that my legs were going numb. But anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this life story. This has been Plus. Peace the frick out.